Hello, this is James Kay from Showcase, and I'm outside St Helens Citadel Art Centre with Danny Woods, their marketing manager. We're going to have a look around this lovely old building with lots of history to it, but a focal centre for local arts. So we're inside the auditorium here. Now this is the, I think, sixth, I counted, reincarnation of this theatre. Back in early 1800s, there was something described as a barn, and then a little bit later there's a series of short-lived music hall theatres, but then along came the Theatre Royal.
Yes, so that was basically seated just over 1,000, and it had everything you'd expect from a grand theatre, stalls, circle, gallery, or the gods as some people call them, which would have been just above where we stood now.
Right.
Yeah.
And an orchestra pit as well?
Yes, yeah.
I believe that was the site of a bit of a health and safety problem.
Yes, the first recorded death in the Citadel. An actor called Stoddart, who during a gravedigger scene fell over during the dark into the orchestra pit, broke a few ribs, and a few days later passed away, unfortunately.
That theatre, as in this location, didn't stay very long. The Theatre Royal actually moved out, didn't it? About 1888,
Yes, around that time, and it moved about 5 minutes down the road, and it's still there now, the Theatre Royal, yeah.
Right, so the Citadel and the Theatre Royal, two separate buildings entirely. And this building here, and then what happened to that?
Well, the Salvation Army actually purchased this building for the purpose of stopping it from being a music hall, really.
Oh.
Yes, ironically.
So that was what we might call a hiatus in the life of the theatre. But we come roll forward now 100 years, 1980, mid 1980s, late 1980s. This theatre, as we can see it today, opened. Some modernisation, no doubt, since then.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
And what do you do here? What sort of things do you do?
Well, we have a varied programme of events, music, theatre. We offer workshops for the community to come and get involved in, drama for anyone from the age of 7 upwards with an adult theatre company.
Right.
We have writing workshops, singing workshops, anything. If you want to get involved, this is the place to be.
What do the youth theatre do? Is it mainly a training thing, or do they put on performances?
So they'll put on performances twice a year. They do the annual Christmas pantomime, and then they'll also quite often research a project to do a performance in the summer. Yeah.
They were involved, I think, in the research about the history of this building.
Yeah, absolutely. They did all the research into what the building looked like, who owned it.
What have you got coming up? What future events have you?
Aside from the music, we've got 2 fantastic shows that you don't want to miss if you've got children or grandchildren. Hans Christian Andersen's The Tinderbox is here in October on the 23rd, and at Christmas the fantastic Horse and Bamboo will be here with the puppetry and.
I've seen Horse and Bamboo. They're fantastic. You've seen the show?
Fantastic. I've not seen this one, but they were here last Christmas. They did Red Riding Hood.
And they're doing
Hansel and Gretel this year.
Hansel and Gretel. That's definitely one to book, isn't it? As you were showing us around earlier, you showed us a beam, or a long beam, which has got a pipe in it at the moment. Looks like a drainage pipe, a modern one. What was that for?
So that was what was called the Cannonball Run or the Thunder Run, which basically they would roll a cannonball down just to create the sound of thunder during a theatre show.
Oh wow! Nobody's to catch it at the end, or
I would hope not.
That sounds a bit scary. That's absolutely fantastic. Okay, so remind us again. How can people find out about? What's your website page?
www.citadel.org.uk.
Thank you very much.